3 generations of the Sullivan family had managed other people's money. My grandfather started our firm in 1962 with nothing but a desk, a telephone, and an unshakable belief in ethical investment practices. My father expanded it into Sullivan Wealth Management, serving some of Boston's most prestigious families. Then came my brother Michael and me, the twins who were supposed to carry the legacy forward together. Funny how together can mean such different things to different people. My name is Alexandra Sullivan, and until 6 months ago, I was the Chief Investment Officer of Sullivan Wealth Management, responsible for over $800 million in client assets. Now, according to my brother, I'm a disgraced former employee who mismanaged everything. The truth, as our clients are about to discover, is considerably more interesting. Miss Sullivan? My assistant Margaret's voice crackled through the intercom. The forensic accountant's report just arrived. I checked my watch. 7:15 a.m. Another early morning in the office, a habit I'd maintained even after Michael's attempted coup. Send him in. James Patterson from Deloitte had the careful demeanor of someone who'd spent decades uncovering financial fraud. He placed a thick folder on my desk. You were right, Miss Sullivan. The irregularities started exactly 18 months ago. I opened the folder, though I already knew what I'd find. 18 months ago, right when Michael had insisted on modernizing our trading platform. Right when he'd started pushing for more aggressive investment strategies. Show me the money flows, I said. Patterson pulled out a series of charts. It's clever. I'll give him that. Small amounts, carefully distributed through a network of shell companies. Most auditors would miss it. But when you know what to look for. I studied the diagrams, remembering the day I'd first noticed something odd in our trading reports. Michael had dismissed my concerns, calling me paranoid and stuck in the past. Old school due diligence is outdated, Lex, he'd said, using the childhood nickname I'd always hated. Modern wealth management requires modern methods. What he meant, I now knew, was that systematic fraud required systematic concealment. The total amount? I asked Patterson. $47.3 million diverted from client accounts over 18 months. The losses were masked by falsified returns reports. Your brother used the firm's strong reputation to prevent anyone from looking too closely. I nodded, thinking of our father, who died 2 years ago. His last words to us had been about trust, the trust our clients placed in us, the trust we needed to place in each other. Does anyone else know about this yet? Patterson shook his head. Just my team, working under strict confidentiality. Though I should mention, he hesitated. Your brother's planning something big. My sources say he's announcing a merger next month. Sullivan Wealth Management is being acquired by Platinum Capital Partners. Of course, Michael needed a way to bury the evidence before anyone noticed. A merger would mean new systems, transferred accounts, conveniently lost records. Thank you, James. Your final report? We'll be ready for the SEC next week. Are you sure you want to do this? He's your brother. I looked at the photo on my desk. Michael and me at our college graduation, his arm around my shoulders, both of us grinning at the camera. 15 years ago, before money and power had revealed who he really was. He stopped being my brother the moment he betrayed our client's trust. After Patterson left, I reviewed the morning's trading reports. Michael had kept me on as a senior advisor, a ceremonial role meant to maintain client confidence during the transition. Little did he know, I'd spent the last 6 months building my case, documenting every irregular transaction, every falsified report. The intercom buzzed again. Miss Sullivan, your brother's here. I quickly tucked the forensic report into my safe. Send him in. Michael strode into my office like he owned it, which, technically, he now did. At 35, we still looked enough alike to give people pause. Same dark hair, same green eyes. But where I'd inherited our father's caution and integrity, Michael had developed a hunger for more. Working early as usual, Lex? You know you don't have to anymore. Your advisory role is more flexible. I smiled blandly. Old habits. What brings you by? The Hamilton Anniversary Gala next week. I want you there. The Hamilton family had been clients since our grandfather's time. Their annual charity gala was Boston's premier financial event. Of course, I wouldn't miss it. Good. He perched on my desk, a habit he knew I hated. I'll be making some announcements. Big changes coming. The merger with Platinum Capital will take us to the next level. Fascinating. Will you be announcing this special investment vehicle too? The one you've been running through Cayman Islands accounts. For a split second, Michael's mask slipped. Fear flickered in his eyes before his smooth confidence returned. Still chasing conspiracy theories, sis? This is why you needed to step back. You're too caught up in details, missing the bigger picture. Oh, I see the bigger picture perfectly, Michael. Every decimal point of it. He stood, straightening his custom-made suit. Just be there next week. Smile, support the changes. It's not like you have a choice anymore. After he left, I opened my laptop and checked my encrypted email. The SEC's forensic team had been quietly investigating for months, ever since I'd submitted my detailed report. Their timing would be critical. My phone buzzed. A text from Diana Martinez, my oldest friend and the Hamilton family's private attorney. Meeting today, 2 p.m. Bring everything. I glanced at the safe containing Patterson's report. Michael thought he was consolidating his power. Instead, he was walking into a trap 18 months in the making. The old Sullivan Wealth Management offices occupied a historic brownstone in Boston's financial district. As I walked through the trading floor, I noticed the changes Michael had made. Sleek digital displays showing real-time market data, young traders aggressively working phones, the family portraits replaced by modern art. In the elevator to the parking garage, I ran into Victor Thompson, our head of compliance, or what was left of compliance after Michael's modernization. Ms. Sullivan, he said quietly, I've been meaning to talk to you. Some of these new trading patterns. Not here, Victor. I handed him my card with a new phone number written on the back. Call me tonight. Use this line only. He nodded, understanding, another piece falling into place. Diana's office was in a modern high-rise overlooking the harbor. She greeted me with a hug, then closed her door and activated her white noise generator, a necessary precaution in today's financial world. How solid is your evidence? She asked without preamble. I opened my briefcase and laid out Patterson's preliminary findings. 18 months of systematic fraud. 47 million diverted through shell companies. False returns reported to clients. And a merger plan designed to bury it all. Diana whistled softly. The Hamilton family's exposure? About 12 million. Michael used their accounts heavily because of their long-standing trust in our firm. Elizabeth Hamilton is going to be furious. Diana shook her head. She chairs 3 regulatory committees. If Michael knew, he doesn't. He thinks old money is quiet money. He forgets that quiet doesn't mean powerless. Diana studied me. The gala's next week. Your brother's planning to announce the merger there, along with my retirement. He wants to consolidate control before anyone looks too closely at the books. And the SEC. I allowed myself a small smile. Their audit team is ready. They're just waiting for the right moment. A room full of witnesses, Diana nodded. Including the state's financial regulators, all the major players in Boston banking, and the press. Perfect. I gathered my documents. Michael always did have a flair for dramatic announcements. I'm just helping him make it memorable. Back in my office, I reviewed the final pieces of my plan. Michael had spent 18 months building his house of cards, thinking his sister was too naive, too trapped in old-fashioned methods to catch him. He forgot that our grandfather's most important lesson wasn't about making money. It was about protecting it. About maintaining the trust that 3 generations of Sullivans had built. As the sun set over Boston Harbor, I thought about the gala. Now just 7 days away. Michael would have his moment in the spotlight, his big announcement. And I would have mine. The week before the Hamilton Gala passed with excruciating slowness. I maintained my usual routine, arriving early, reviewing reports, meeting with select clients. Michael was too busy preparing for his triumph to notice that each meeting, each document review, was another piece of evidence being carefully preserved and documented. The SEC team is in position, Diana told me over a secure line. They've coordinated with the state regulators. Everything's ready. I was in my office, watching the sun rise over Boston Harbor. The same view our father had loved, though the skyline had changed. And the Hamilton family? Elizabeth knows something's coming. She's arranged the seating chart to put all the key players at the main table. Regulators, banking executives, major clients. Perfect. I checked my watch. The forensic accountant's final report. Delivered to the SEC yesterday. Your brother's going to regret not checking those Cayman accounts more carefully. A soft knock interrupted us. Miss Sullivan? Margaret entered, carrying a garment bag. Your gala dress arrived. I smiled, remembering another lesson from our father. In finance, appearance matters. Thanks, Margaret. Is everything else prepared? She nodded, understanding the real question. For 6 months, she'd helped me gather evidence, coordinate with investigators, and maintain the illusion of compliance with Michael's new regime. All the documents are backed up and secured. External drives delivered to 3 different law firms. After she left, Diana asked quietly, "Are you sure about this?" Once it starts, he stole from our clients, Diana. Used their trust to enrich himself. What would you do if someone stole from your family? The night of the gala arrived clear and cold. The Hamilton estate, a sprawling mansion overlooking the Atlantic, glowed with warmth and old money confidence. Rolls-Royces and Mercedes deposited Boston's financial elite at the entrance. I arrived early, wearing a classic black evening gown that had been my mother's favorite. Michael was already there, commanding attention in the center of the grand ballroom. "Ah, there's my sister," he called out too loudly. "The last of the old guard, aren't you, Lex? But change is good, isn't it? Progress is inevitable." I smiled, accepting a champagne flute from a passing waiter. "Indeed it is, brother." Elizabeth Hamilton approached, elegant in her 70s. Her family had trusted the Sullivans with their wealth for 3 generations. "Alexander dear, so glad you could make it. Though I hear rumors this might be your last gala with the firm." "Changes are coming," Michael interrupted smoothly. "Big announcements tonight. The future of wealth management is evolving." Elizabeth's eyes met mine briefly. She knew. The Hamilton family hadn't maintained their fortune for 2 centuries by being naive about money. The ballroom filled quickly. I recognized faces from regulatory agencies, banking executives, journalists from the financial press. At exactly 8 o'clock, Michael took the stage, radiating confidence. "Distinguished guests, valued clients, welcome to the 50th Annual Hamilton Investment Gala. Tonight is about more than celebration. It's about the future. I'm proud to announce that Sullivan Wealth Management is entering a new era. I moved quietly through the crowd, positioning myself near the main exit. Diana stood ready with her laptop, connected to the ballroom's presentation system. Merger with Platinum Capital Partners, creating one of the largest wealth management firms in New England. The crowd murmured appreciatively. Michael was in his element, promising growth, innovation, modernization. Then he turned to me, his smile sharp. And with this transition comes another announcement. My sister Alexandra, after careful consideration, has decided to retire. Her old-fashioned methods, while admirable, are no longer suited to modern finance. Actually, I said clearly, my voice carrying across the suddenly quiet room, I have an announcement of my own. Michael's smile flickered. Lex, this isn't the time. Oh, but it is? I nodded to Diana, who connected her laptop to the display screens. Let's talk about modern finance, brother. Specifically, let's discuss the $47.3 million you've diverted from client accounts over the past 18 months. The screens filled with transaction records, bank transfers, shell company documentation. Michael's face went pale. These are false accusations. Ms. Sullivan, a grave voice interrupted. Harold Winters, head of the SEC's Boston office, stood up. Are these the records you submitted to our office? Yes, sir, along with the forensic accountant's report detailing exactly how my brother used our trading platform to mask unauthorized transfers through a network of Cayman Island accounts. The room erupted in chaos. Elizabeth Hamilton's voice cut through the noise. Michael Sullivan, are you saying you stole from my family? No, I was investing aggressively, pursuing higher returns. Through unlicensed offshore vehicles, another regulator stood, without disclosure or client authorization. I watched as Michael's carefully constructed world crumbled. SEC agents moved to block the exits. Diana distributed copies of the forensic report to key regulators. The federal investigation has been ongoing for months, I announced to the stunned crowd. Every transaction documented, every shell company traced. The evidence has been preserved, despite recent attempts to modernize our record-keeping system. Michael lunged for me, his composure shattered. You planned this. You betrayed your own brother. Security officers grabbed him before he reached me. I stepped closer, keeping my voice low. No, Michael. You betrayed our family's legacy. You betrayed our client's trust. I just exposed it. The next few hours were a blur of statements, documents, and arrests. Michael was led out in handcuffs, still protesting that he'd done nothing wrong. The merger announcement became a very different kind of press story. Later that night, I stood in our father's old office, now mine again by emergency board vote. Elizabeth Hamilton sat across from me, examining account statements. Your father would be proud, she said finally. He always said the true measure of a financial advisor isn't how much money they make, but how well they protect it. Even from family? I asked softly. Especially from family. She stood, straightening her elegant jacket. The Hamilton assets will stay with Sullivan Wealth Management, dear. Under your management only. Over the next few months, the full story emerged. Michael had started small, skimming from larger accounts, masking the losses with falsified returns. Success made him bolder, greedier. The merger was his exit strategy, a way to hide his fraud in the chaos of consolidation. The SEC investigation revealed everything. Michael faced federal charges for securities fraud, money laundering, and criminal conspiracy. Most of the stolen funds were recovered from his offshore accounts. I rebuilt Sullivan Wealth Management on our grandfather's original principles, trust, transparency, and genuine client service. We lost some accounts in the scandal, but gained others who appreciated our commitment to ethical practices. 1 year later, I received a letter from Michael, written from federal prison. "You could have warned me, Lex. Given your own brother a chance to make it right." I wrote back one line: "I gave you the same chance you gave our clients." None. These days, Sullivan Wealth Management has a new compliance system. Every transaction is triple-checked, every investment vehicle thoroughly vetted. The Hamilton family still holds their annual gala, though it's a bit more subdued now. My father's portrait hangs in my office, next to our grandfather's original license. Sometimes, late at night, I look at them and remember what this business is really about. Not just managing money, but managing trust. As for Michael, he's serving 15 years in federal prison, plenty of time to think about the true cost of betraying trust. The merger he planned never happened, but a different kind of change did. A return to the principles that built our firm. Last week, a young analyst noticed some unusual trading patterns in a client's account. Instead of dismissing her concerns, I spent 3 hours reviewing the transactions with her. They turned out to be legitimate, but I gave her a bonus anyway. For being diligent, I told her, in this business, trust is everything, and trust requires vigilance. She asked me later if it was hard, exposing my own brother's crimes. I thought about Michael's face at the gala, about our father's last words about trust, about 3 generations of Sullivan integrity. The hardest decisions, I said, are often the clearest ones. Now, when clients visit our offices, they still see the Sullivan name on the door. But underneath, there's a new phrase carved in small, elegant letters: trust, earned and protected since 1962. Because in the end, that's what this story is really about. Not just money, not just family, but the fundamental trust that makes the financial world work. Michael forgot that. I never will. 3 generations of the Sullivan family had managed other people's money. My grandfather started our firm in 1962 with nothing but a desk, a telephone, and an unshakable belief in ethical investment practices. My father expanded it into Sullivan Wealth Management, serving some of Boston's most prestigious families. Then came my brother Michael and me, the twins who were supposed to carry the legacy forward together. Funny how together can mean such different things to different people. My name is Alexandra Sullivan, and until 6 months ago, I was the Chief Investment Officer of Sullivan Wealth Management, responsible for over $800 million in client assets. Now, according to my brother, I'm a disgraced former employee who mismanaged everything. The truth, as our clients are about to discover, is considerably more interesting. "Miss Sullivan?" My assistant Margaret's voice crackled through the intercom. The forensic accountant's report just arrived. I checked my watch. 7:15 a.m. Another early morning in the office, a habit I'd maintained even after Michael's attempted coup. Send him in. James Patterson from Deloitte had the careful demeanor of someone who'd spent decades uncovering financial fraud. He placed a thick folder on my desk. "You were right, Miss Sullivan. The irregularities started exactly 18 months ago." I opened the folder, though I already knew what I'd find. 18 months ago, right when Michael had insisted on modernizing our trading platform. Right when he'd started pushing for more aggressive investment strategies. "Show me the money flows," I said. Patterson pulled out a series of charts. "It's clever. I'll give him that. Small amounts, carefully distributed through a network of shell companies. Most auditors would miss it. But when you know what to look for." I studied the diagrams, remember